Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, stop! It's warning! Abort mission! I want to talk about the 10 most disappointing, most underwhelming, most overrated champions for live arena. In other words, 10 champions that you might think are actually really good for arena, and you might be going out and building, only to find yourself very disappointed and your resources kind of wasted. And I got to put my hands up as well for a couple of these that I thought were going to be really strong. I thought these would be top tier champions for live arena. And actually, now that the facts are in, that's not actually the case. We're going to be looking at, of course, the win percentage for these champions. I just did a video earlier. I'm publishing these on 2 separate days. I just did a video on the top 10 performers by win percentage. Now we're going to be looking at some of the weaker ones. Of course, bearing in mind, win percentage is not everything, but it's a pretty darn good statistic. I know there's going to be people out there that are like, man, win percentage means nothing. What about my feelings? I feel this champion is good. And you do you. That's okay. I don't mind. But let's go in first of all. So the number 10 spot, this is the least disappointing of the disappointments, but this is actually a champion, Helicath, that I myself have actually built up. I haven't tested them yet, so I will probably still do a video on them testing, but this champion, I think definitely for live arena, a little bit disappointing. This is definitely a champion that I think is seeing more and more hype for live arena, and you can understand why. Bringing in block damage and all allies for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown, that's pretty cool with a big shield. But his A1 does some decent damage, and it does ignore shield and block damage, and he gets to counterattack with that default skill whenever an ally is hit under block damage. When you fight Helicath, this can really stand out. You're like, oh man, it's tough to actually kill their team with block damage. He's getting loads of counterattacks in. It makes a big impact on you, I think, when you fight against it. But when you look at the actual statistics, and we're going to focus on silver here for the most part, which is where you're going to have players that are a bit more hardcore. You got to do a lot of fights against each other. I think that's going to be better than bronze, which is very, very unfair. You could have, brand new players against someone that's a whale that's only just started live arena. But silver 1, we can see about 50.2% win rate. Silver 2, we're actually down to the negative already with 49.4, and he's still pretty popular. Silver 3, again, pretty popular, 8% pick rate, 50% I think is still the max in terms of how this is tracked, 48.5. 12% pick rate down to 45% win rate here in silver 4. I think he might even be picked in gold. He's actually picked a decent bit in gold with 43% win rate. So yeah, the way I'm looking at this is, look, around that 50% win rate in silver, he's not bad. But like, for example, for me, this is the champion I've gone out and built and was planning to do a video on. Would I go out and build this champion now in hindsight, knowing that it's about 50% win rate at best in silver, Not really something that's inspiring. Go out and win 50-50. Now, I'm looking for something that's going to win me some more fights. I don't want to, lose more than I win. That's not the point. So yeah, Helicath for me, actually disappointing. I'm going to put Helicath in at number 10. Number 9 is a similar champion, and that is Valkyrie. Okay, very similar idea. Valkyrie coming in. Defensive damage dealer comes in, defensive damage dealer, puts out a big shield and counterattack on your team. She's also doing turn meter manipulation. Definitely considered a good arena champion. You see Helicath actually for arena, considered about a 4.5 overall. Valkyrie, similarly, we come into arena about 4.5 overall, does a lot of stuff, damage, protection, speed, manipulation, but the win rate, unfortunately, just isn't there to back it up. Silver, again, is semi-popular here, 49.71. Silver 2, 49.88% win rate. Silver 3, 49.32. Silver 4 goes down to 46.48. How about gold? She's in gold a little bit, 45% win rate. You expect the win rate to go down as you go higher, but Valkyrie, she's in a very similar spot to Helicath, really. They're both, broadly speaking, around that 50% win rate. It's certainly not, considering there's quite a bit of hype and excitement about, ooh, these champions could actually do something really cool in live arena. When I look at the win rate, I'm not seeing a champion that's doing something really cool in live arena. I'm seeing a champion that's fine, they're solid, but not blowing my socks off by any means. Next up, unfortunately, is a champion that I thought would be much better and isn't. A champion, unfortunately, that's free-to-play friendly, which is Mithrala Lifebane, right? A champion everyone can get for free, and a great champion overall, but actually somewhat disappointing when it comes to Arena. Again, rated 5 stars here in Arena, and we come to the win rates. You can see becoming very popular, much more popular as a pick than these other champions, because a lot more people are going to have her. We're actually starting off negative with a 49.89. 48% here in silver 2, 46 in silver 3. We go to silver 4. Oh, it's shocking. 32.5% win rate. What about gold? We're back up to 42.42. But yeah, needless to say, this one disappoints me because I was really hoping Mithrala would be better. I mean, I would have definitely considered her to be an extremely good arena champion. Possibly some of it possibly is to do with her popularity, but I mean, nonetheless, when you get to that competitive level, you know, where you're going up with those Krakens, like the win rate is really falling off despite her being picked a decent amount here. It's just underwhelming. I actually, in a recent video, I had considered her to be probably the second best increased defense champion after Sifi. Needless to say, when you compare it to Sifi, Sifi's coming in with like a 60%, like 55 to 60% win rate in all of these leagues. Mithrala, she's clearly on a massive step down from that. So that for me was a shock and very disappointing. Mithrala letting me down. Next up, another champion I really like, but I can understand why they're not actually performing super well, and that is Turvold. Big single target damage dealer, but I mean, as you can sort of see, Turvold's super squishy, and he's just that single target damage. It's hard to actually kill an entire team. You got to pick him off one by one. I do think he has a place, but this doesn't shock me too much, right? Just pure damage, pure single target. I think the 5 in arena, definitely not carrying over here to live arena though, right? Much better when you combo him with Nekret the Great. There's an amazing synergy there, right? Turvold hits harder the more buffs he has. Nekret gives him a bunch of buffs, right? This hits harder the more buffs he has. Nekret gives him buffs. He's got a hard-hitting A1. Nekret's got an ally attack. It all synergizes beautifully, but when you don't have that combo, it really falls off. 50% win rate, it's okay. In silver 1, in silver 2, 48%, silver 3, 45%, silver 4, 46.6%, in gold, 46.55%. You know, he's not terrible, but he's not amazing either. And I think I'm a little bit disappointed with Turvold. I've hyped him up before as well, saying I actually really like him. And I do stand by that. I do actually still really like this champion, but he's clearly quite niche and not going to bring you general success, unfortunately. And yeah, even probably when he's picked in these niche circumstances, he's definitely not performing too well. So I got to put him on this disappointing list. He's number 7 on the list of disappointment. Behind door number 6, we have Lydia the Death Siren. Interesting one to put in here. I'm going to put her... I find it difficult to place her precisely on this list. Let me put it like that. So if we jump over to Lydia, is she an arena champion, I guess, is one of the big questions. And I do feel like she kind of is. She has the best resistance aura for arena in the game. The block revive from her passive is a really crucial arena skill as well. Really powerful. She's definitely supposed to be somewhat of an arena champion. Perhaps people, though, are, you know, they've got her in builds for things like Hydra and dungeons and stuff like that. So they're not maxing her out for arena. But look, we come over, we look at the win rate, and it starts off actually really good for silver 1 at 52.7%. We go to silver 2, though, we've dropped to 48. We go to silver 3, we're down to 41.88. We go to silver 4, and we're down to 20.45. Back up to a mere 25%. Almost never pick, though, in gold. So she's there. Is she seeing some use as sort of a counter to Marishka because of the block revive in classic arena? I just don't really feel like that is translated all that well into live arena, pretty frankly. Like, she's not bad in silver 1, she's okay, but clearly when you start pushing any further, she actually drops off very quickly. So yeah, Lydia, unfortunately, I'd probably be building her for things like Hydra and Doom Tower and dungeons, and not focusing on arena for her. The next champion, I think the next champion is going to shock you. This one shocked me, I'll be honest. This one shocked me. Prepare yourself. Ultimate Death Knight. I know. You guys are like, nubkeks. Okay, we didn't realize this is a parody video. You tricked us. No, I'm not tricking you. I'm serious, guys. We come down here. In fact, let's start from bronze 1. Bronze 1, ultimate, picked constantly. 47% win rate. Bronze 2, 47. 3, about 47. Bronze 4, 46. Silver, 45. Silver 2, 45. Silver 3, 46. Silver 4, 46. But gold 1. He's back up to 47. He gets a bit better in gold. Gets a bit better. Gold 2, 20%, you know. Ultimate Death Knight. Probably one of the first champions that springs to people's mind when it comes to Arena. I mean, like, he's rated 5 stars here. I would have in fact, I am on record as saying this champion is an amazing champion. And everyone has him because he's free. Amazing champion for Arena, just in general. Well, the win rate clearly says otherwise. Let me see, 23,000 reviews. I mean, Arena offense and defense, he's got 4.7, 4.8. Clearly an Arena, amazing Arena champion. Actually, clearly not. Which, again, this shocked me. This definitely did. I think part of it is that, yeah, I'm not even sure exactly how to quantify this, how to make sense of it. I think part of it is that he is like so slow and defensive. He's not really helping you to get into position to win. He's just sort of slowing down and frustrating the enemy team. I guess that's what it might be. So like, he can be a really good pick to just stall out your defense in classic Arena and tag Arena, make people not want to attack it. But when you actually do go in and attack it, maybe you can actually punch through. And I think, you know, even if he does hard counter your nuke, let's say you're running Rotos and it's like, he's really good against Rotos, you can always ban away that Ultimate Death Knight. I don't know, but let me know what you think. Do you have any theories? But the reality is, if someone says Ultimate Death Knight is amazing in Arena, I'm here looking at a pretty consistent around 45% win rate. To me, I don't know. I think he got a lot to prove if we want to keep saying Ultimate Death Knight is amazing. For me, he's really fallen off, I have to be honest. Another champion I'm going to put in here, number 4, is actually Brockni. So again, the tricky thing about rating Brockni here is Brockni, kind of like Lydia, he's sort of one of those champions that's just well known as being incredibly good, super good. But he's maybe not considered as much an Arena champion. Like, he's got 4 stars here on Helicath, right? And I think that sort of fits in with the general perception of him as being a champion that's like, hey, he's all right for Arena, but not amazing, but he's pretty all right. When I actually went in and looked at the stats, he's actually not really all right at all. And you're going to see he's pretty consistently like a low, but still substantial pick rate. Like, he's picked a bit in Silver 1, 48%. Silver 2, he still picked a good chunk, down to 45% win rate. Silver 3, the pick rate's falling off, but my goodness, we're below 40%. Silver 4, again, the pick rate's gone down. We're down to 23%. I think he's even picked once in Gold 1. He's been picked maybe 5 times in Gold 1, and he won 1 of them. So, yeah, this is the thing, you know. He's not good, but he has picked a good bit. He's even sort of picked a bit here in bronze. He's sort of that consistent 3%. He's winning a bit more in bronze, but he's sort of like, he just seems that champ that slips in. And I can see why. He's sort of think, he's giving us lots of protection. It gives us increased attack as well. That's nice. You know, put him in a bolster set. You're bringing loads of shields. You're reflecting damage, healing off of it. But if you want to win, let's be honest, if you want to win, Brockni's not the way to go. If you want to lose, hey, he's looking pretty solid. So unfortunately, Brockni is a disappointment. Next up then, a champion again I've seen a little bit of hype for. I know people like this champion a lot in Arena. He's definitely a bit more niche, but Mountain King. Mountain King, unfortunately, coming in and a strong underperformer. He's obviously got crazy HP, but he's super slow. I think sort of the issues with Mountain King, he's sort of an attractive option to potentially run in bolster set. He can potentially one-shot someone with his A3, but he's going to struggle to kill multiple champions. He's very slow. I'm just not feeling it. He's got 4 stars here, but I think even in bronze, you know this champion is not good for Arena when even in bronze they have an almost entirely negative run. He picks up a bit in bronze 4. That's where Mountain King has his moment to shine. But Silver 1, 48. It's not the worst, but he's down to 45.9 in Silver 2. Silver 3, 41.4. Silver 4, we're down to 37.5. Gold, he's doing okay in gold, 45%. So maybe there's something to some sort of bolster set. I don't know. He is tanky. Maybe there's something there, but look, honestly, 45% is in gold is okay. It's not blowing me away, but it's okay. But when I'm looking back at these silver win rates, I'm going, uh-oh. I'm looking at these bronze win rate. I'm going, uh-oh. This is a champion that clearly there's a bit of hype about because he has some sort of niche in gold, but no. let's be honest, this champion, unfortunately, he's just not good. And don't get hyped up by Mountain King for Live Arena. Like, it's not the worst thing you could possibly bring, but he's not going to be revolutionizing your teams. Number 2, Wythir the Crowned. I think this one's going to surprise people. With Wythir, she's definitely well known as an arena champion, right? Like, she's rated 5 stars here as that healer, as that protector. Here's the thing. When it comes to Live Arena, though, it just does not translate across. Just does not work. Doesn't work. We've had a lot of guaranteed events, a lot of 10x, probably the champion in the most 10x events ever. I mean, visually, Wythir is amazing, but just don't use her in Live Arena. Don't build her for Live Arena. Maybe it should be helpful for you in Tag, maybe in Classic. Maybe you won't use her at all, but when it comes to Live Arena, Silver 1, down to 45% win rate. I think she's, again, another champion that's skirting those negative win rates, even in Bronze, which is bad. 45 in Silver 1, 43.8 in Silver 2, 43% in Silver 3, Silver 4, 36%. She hasn't been picked in Gold. Like, the players, they know. You know, these endgame players are like, there's not even a point in trying this champion. She is not worth it. So, yeah. And funny enough, she's actually been banned a good chunk of the time. My suggestion is, man, if someone's picking Wythir, just let her through. Let her in. No threat. I think it's the ultimate Death Knight problem as well. And maybe, in a sense, the Valkyrie, the Helicath, the Mithrala problem. These are good defensive champions, and they make sort of an impact in terms of survivability when you're against them. You're like, wow, they're really tough to kill. This must be a really good champion. But when it actually comes to winning, which is what matters, they just don't do it. And then finally, in the number 1 spot, this was a big shock to me. A big shock. In the number 1 spot, it's Rhonda. That's right, Rhonda. Free legendary. We'll all have her. And honestly, will put my hands up and say, I thought she was going to be much better than this. Kind of renowned, actually, I would say, as being a pretty good arena champion. Quite a bit of hype around this champion as well, as being kind of viable, even in late game, Tag Arena, and end game, Live Arena, end game, as being potentially a really good option. We'll see that in some of the win rates, but that's, again, this is when we'll go from Bronze. 40% in Bronze 1, 42% Bronze 2, 44% Bronze 3, 44% Bronze 4. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking, you know, okay, look, Rhonda, she was a free champion. Everyone has her. You're going to have people going into Live Arena that don't have anything else, and they're using her. But when you go up even into the higher ranks, Silver 1, 44%. Silver 2, 44%. Silver 3, 44%. Silver 4, not 44. It's down to 42%. I think in Gold, she goes back up to 47 in Gold. She actually has a positive win rate. Look at this. In Gold 2, 59%. That's kind of interesting. But this is why I'm marking her as number 1. Like, if you are in Gold 2, I don't think there's even info for Gold 3 and stuff like that. But, like, this champion doesn't hit a positive win rate until Gold 2. Like, that is the ultimate late game, ultimate Kraken experience. That is just not relevant for 99.9999999% of you. For everyone that's not in that ultimate Kraken zone of currently Gold 2 or higher, and that's going to obviously push further the longer this is out. For most of the rest of us, we're looking at one of the lowest, consistently worst win rate champions in the game in Rhonda. Across, again, like people who are in Silver 4, who are in Silver 3. These are not new players that only have the new legendary. No, these are players that have been playing for ages and have tons of options to choose from. People are picking her because there's some hype from that end game, thinking she's going to work for me when she clearly doesn't. I do think that for the end game, where does this become useful? I think you look at the top 10 video I did, those top champions. I think what she does bring that is good is one specific thing, really, which is her A2. I think can be quite good because it brings block passive skills. So I think whereas Romantu gets totally messed up, remember, we're talking the Krakenest of the Krakens. We're talking 6-star polymorph blessings happening all over the place. I think Romantu gets absolutely destroyed by polymorph. But I think Rhonda has a decent enough chance not to be affected by polymorph. So she's got an okay chance to do stuff like to kill Marishka, to kill maybe Harima, to kill Taras, that sort of stuff, because she can block their passive skills. I think that's sort of the point, is that block passive skills is still so limited. And certainly, I think moving forwards, when they add more block passive skills champions in, you could see Rhonda fall off once a better option comes in. I don't know. I think it's going to be funny. I think she might still retain. This is the weird thing. I think for most of us, this champion is bad. I think for the high endgame dudes, again, we're talking about 6-star polymorph, doesn't need accuracy. Romantu's still going to be totally messed up by that for these Krakens, right? So for the Krakens, Rhonda is still going to remain the best option for block passive skills. I think for most people, though, Romantu's going to really step up and become much more relevant with the polymorph changes coming in. But again, once you're talking about this sort of stuff, we're Kraken territory, polymorph change doesn't matter, so or barely matters. So yeah, but interesting stuff, isn't it, with Rhonda? And that's why I have to put her number 1. I think there's a lot of hype for this champion. She's super popular. Like, even if I go up into silver 2, it's 12% pick rate. It's very high. 17, like, it's very high. But unfortunately, I thought she was good, but the stats say no, she's not good unless you're like super end game. And you're not. Let's be real, you're not. So why bother? There you go, guys. They are the 10 champions that I think are actually pretty overrated. That you might go in thinking, hey, wow, this champion, I could build them up. This champion might be a game changer for me in live arena. And while some of them, these are not bad champions, they might do something useful for your roster. It's not going to bring you in a whole ton of wins. It's just not how it works. Yeah, most of them are. I think the best case scenario for nearly all of them was about, I think 52% might have been the top win rate in silver or above for these. And most of them are languishing in the mid 40s is the way it is. Thank you for watching. I hope that you found it interesting. I certainly did making this video. A lot of this stuff honestly surprised me. Yeah, honestly, a lot of this stuff in this video surprised me. But there you go. I thought it was interesting. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.